Fake Goodwin here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, help promote and rank up my channel. So we're going to be talking about some istinphobe behavior. Leonard Roberts has accused Ali Larter, or Later, or whatever the hell you call her, of istinphobe behavior. Now, Ali has come out and said, that doesn't match my memory nor my experience. What? You guilty bitch. Alright, so let's talk about this guy here. Because he's saying racism is responsible for his exit. Not just racism, but Ali Later, or Larter, however the hell she's to blame for his exit. This guy here, and here's a fun fact, this guy was on the entirety of Buffy Season 4, pretty much. And he never complained about Joss Whedon having istinphobe behavior, like, what's his face? What? I can't even think of his irrelevant ass name. Oh yeah, that's because he has no career. Oh, Ray Fisher. Oh, Heroes. So Ray Fisher, you know, he said Joss Whedon did all this istinphobe stuff and accountability and entertainment and all that, whatever. Yeah, and maybe because the whole BLM thing or whatever, maybe more people are going to start doing this. They absolutely can. People will be more likely to believe them, but are all the stories going to be real? I don't know if this one's actually real or not. It's a little hard to believe because Ali Later, he's saying that she was istinphobe and they couldn't like touch in bed or something like that. But she played in this movie in 2009, Obsessed, where she was obsessed with this black dude, like all up on him, wanting him. She played, you can see her right there. She was obsessed with this dude, and he's a black dude. And there's certainly some intimate and sexual situations in there. I never actually watched the movie, but you can tell just by watching the trailer. As a successful asset manager who has just received a huge promotion, is blissfully happy in his career and his marriage, but when a temp worker starts stalking him, all the things he's worked so hard for are placed in jeopardy. So this woman develops this die-hard like obsession with him or whatever, and it's Ali. So how much credibility is in this? I don't know. So, in a newly published essay, Heroes actor Leonard Roberts explains how racism and friction with co-star Ali ultimately led to his exit. And I actually liked this guy's character. He was pretty cool, and I felt like season 2, just why would you kill off the character in that manner? Like, come back, he's dead, and then you do the episode I think was called 4 months ago. You show how he died, and it was really lackluster and underwhelming and eyebrow raising of why the hell you would get rid of his character in that manner, because I thought his character was pretty cool. I thought his character was pretty cool. He had shadow cat-like powers, could pass through walls and solid objects. So, in a newly published essay, Heroes actor Leonard Roberts explained how racism and friction ultimately led to his exit. And it talks about how Heroes was a phenomenon for season 1 and then went drastically downhill in season 2 and never recovered. That rings absolutely true. So he played character D.L. Hawkins, just your regular guy who could pass through solid objects and stuff like that. He's a really interesting character, I thought. The way they developed him and all that, up until the point where they just threw him under the bus, like, oh, no, he's dead. So, he opened up about the circumstances surrounding his hero exit. Another thing I want to point out, how this guy worked with Joss Whedon. Never said anything negative about Joss Whedon that I'm aware of. Maybe he can jump on that bandwagon now, if it's popular. Because apparently everybody's canceling this guy. Freeform cancels Joss Whedon series. Pippa Smith, grown-up detective, has decided to not move forward with his dark comedy series, which credited Joss Whedon as producer. He's done. He's over. Ray Fisher made sure of that because he didn't get the story he wanted to get out of that, and ultimately it was WB responsible for bringing in this guy and like, you got to change direction, and you got to do it now. We've got to do a drastic shift now. We've got to stab this guy in the back while he's off mourning for his daughter's suicide. We got to stab him, Zack Snyder, in the back, and you're the guy that's got to take over this job. And all these people, they really love Zack Snyder. They really love the collaboration he does with them, and lets them put their own input in there and their own ideas in there that he can work with and give them something to go off. But we can't have any of that. You got to get in there and you got to force them to take things this different direction, and they're all going to hate you. And you got to get canceled eventually for istophobe behavior because you had to go in there and just frantically try to figure out how to slap everything together and stay on track under really restraining circumstances. Maybe there is truth to what Ray Fisher said about him, but I don't know. This guy's worked with multiple black actors, and none of them have ever said anything like that about him. Like, for instance, another black guy was J.L. August Richards, who I hear is gay these days. He was a main star on Angel for the entire run of the show since the end of season 1. So, anyways, in a short voicemail message, okay, let's start up here. So, he goes on to talk about how their relationship was on the show, and the script suggested DL and Nikki had a volatile relationship, and it wasn't long before Art was intimidating life, with me on the receiving end of pushback from my co-star regarding the playing of a particular tense scene. Roberts writes, Roberts specifically cites a bedroom scene between the two where she refused to expose even just her shoulders, despite the fact that she was willing to do more in another intimate scene with white co-star Adrian Nathan Petrelli on Heroes. Nevertheless, Roberts says he strove to remain professional even as he became aware of other non-white characters being killed off. Then Roberts was informed of his character's fate. So he's kind of insinuating that people were getting killed off just because of their skin color. You know what? I'd have to go back and watch it to really remember if that's the case, but I don't think that was the case. So in a short voicemail message said that due to the Ali situation, when the show returned for season 2, audiences would learn that DL had died and was free to call him if he wanted to talk. Roberts says upon meeting with Kring, Roberts explains he was told because of my co-star, he just couldn't make my remaining on the show work story-wise. This baffled the actor as he didn't understand how the actions of a co-star, who apparently was disliked by others on set, resulted in his firing at the time. So multiple people had a problem with this woman. And that indicates to me maybe it's not racism. Maybe she's just a bitch. Yeah, but I don't know if it would be racism, because why would she sign on for a movie like this? Sign on for this movie where she's stalking this black dude and obsessed with this black dude. But maybe she did this movie to try to prevent anything negative about coming out about her actually being istophobe. Or maybe this isn't the case. Maybe she's just a bitch, and it had nothing to do with disliking you for your skin color. Maybe it just had to do with disliking you because she's a bitch, and that's how she rolls. Don't think of this as a situation where the black man loses and the white woman wins. This led Roberts to write, Dennis Hammer told Roberts, don't think of this as a situation where the black man loses and a white woman wins. This led Roberts to write, and that was the first time my race was ever acknowledged while I was a part of a show. Not for any creative contribution it could make, but for what I believed was the fear of me becoming... Okay, so... I don't know, maybe there's some truth to this, or maybe she's just a bitch. But it's kind of hard to believe that she would be istophobe considering she did this movie here. And Idris Elba's in this movie, so you'd think Idris Elba would say something, right? That he would say something that this woman maybe has he said something? I don't know. I'd have to look for it, but I don't know if that's actually the case. I think she's just a bitch. Maybe that's the case. I don't think. Who's to say? Who's to say that this guy? I doubt he's making all this up, but you know, and she's supposedly saying that she doesn't remember any of this type of stuff, that she got rid of him for that reason. Maybe she was being used as an excuse. Maybe the reality is, because she never really said anything to that effect that she can't work with him or something like that. Maybe it was the dude that just noticed that her behavior towards him was so he took it upon himself to say, hey, look, dude, this woman doesn't like you. She doesn't want you to touch her. She doesn't want you in bed with her because you're black. Maybe she didn't really say any of that. Maybe he took it upon himself to tell this dude lies. I don't know. This all seems weird to me. This all seems weird to me, right? Like, why wouldn't she be okay with this dude touching her if she's in a movie like this with Idris Elba? Why didn't Idris Elba say anything about her? But, I mean, unless somebody from Heroes comes out and disputes that, oh, hey, that never happened. This guy's a fucking liar. I don't know. I just find this interesting. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this horrible, horrible woman. She's supposed to be a horrible woman. It makes it sound like she's difficult to work with from multiple people's perspectives. So maybe more people will come out and say what a bitch she is. Now that the cat's out of the bag, now that this guy put it out there, maybe everybody will pile on top of that. Be like, yeah, she is a bitch. She's an istophobe. Let's cancel her. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I've never been a huge fan of her, and I got really sick of her character on the show, and the fact that they just had multiple versions of her character, you know. She had that kind of Jekyll and Hyde personality, but and then later they brought in like an ice version, which I felt the ice version was actually better than this split personality one, because to me she wasn't that likable of a character. I would have preferred if her character got off in that season and his character stuck around. But I know a lot of people find this woman hot, so they wouldn't really agree with that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. Fade Goodwin here. Eventually we will. Like, subscribe, share. I'm hitting the wrong button. But let me know your thoughts and opinions, and it only takes a moment to subscribe, so consider doing that. Stay awesome. Rock on.